It's September, and you know what that is. It is hashtag Project Dress a Girl 2025. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, KGFL Creations. It's September, and you know what that is. It is hashtag Project Dress a Girl 2025. Just as a little background, Project Dress a Girl was founded by Mari de Jesus of Mari Sews. She brings together a lot of people in the month of September with the intent of sewing lots of dresses for girls around the world in extreme poverty. This year on Instagram, the hashtag is hashtag Project Dress a Girl 2025, and she has asked to post there, but she had her kickoff video yesterday, which was September 1st, and there is a link in the description below for that video, and also I have pinned that link in the comments, so all of the information for the Project Dress a Girl will be in that video. So if you're going to sew, please watch that video where she explains everything about what to sew, the requirements, and on and on and on. So please watch her video, which again is the kickoff video for 2025. It was posted yesterday, September 1st, and there are links below, links everywhere, so you can watch that. This year, I decided to do a sew along on a different dress. Last year, I did the sew along for the peasant dress. I will link that video here. And this year, I decided to do something a little bit different. I chose the dress by Alyssa from Thoughtful Creativity. It was last year's dress, the dress that she made for 2024. It was the featured dress for the year. So I decided to do the sew along for that dress. I also am going to link her channel below with that video, so you guys can go there, download the pattern. It is not my pattern. You have to go to her video, and from there you can find a link to download the pattern, but it's such a cute pattern. I just love it. So adorable. Now let's get into the sew along. You'll see everything that I did with the pattern. Also, there is a little bonus of me making continuous bias binding. Yes, I was going to cut it. It's a bit too long, but decided to leave it in there because I did make the bias binding for this particular dress. So I want to show you how I did that. So now let's get into sewing. I have decided to use this here as the main fabric, accent and accent. I am going to do this sew along on Alyssa's pattern from last year, from 2024. She worked on a pattern, Alyssa from Thoughtful Creativity. So I cut everything. This is the front. Usually comes like this, but I printed 2 pieces. I prepared the pattern as per her instructions. I added 3/8 of a seam allowance up here, 3/8 here, no seam allowance here, no seam allowance here. This is the back piece, also 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, no seam allowance, and no seam allowance here on the curve. This is the skirt piece cut on the fold, right here on the fold. I marked 3/8 seam allowance on top, 3/8 seam allowance on this edge here, and I added 1 inch at the bottom here. Cut 2, I wrote on it, cut 2, or cut 1 on fold and then split for this back here because of what I'm going to do back there. And this one here, cut one on fold. So this is the skirt, this is the top, and I'll be cutting out of this fabric here. Now for the side portion of it, there's this section here, cut on the fold. I added a 3/8 seam allowance up here, 3/8 seam allowance on this side, and 1 inch seam allowance at the bottom. This piece here I am going to cut out of the plain purple, which is this fabric here. And then I did trace, because on her instructions it says to cut this, but I traced the pocket, cut 2 pockets according to her instructions. No seam allowance up here, no seam allowance at the bottom, 3/8 seam allowance on this side, same as this right here, and cut on fold, and it goes right there. That's the pocket piece. So this is an extra piece that I traced, and I'll be using this fabric here for the pocket, which will be on top of this one here. Now I have not decided what fabric I am going to use for the bias binding yet, but yeah, I don't know if I'll do just plain white. I do have that white bias binding that I purchased from Hobby Lobby. Wasn't too crazy about it. It's just very stiff. Or maybe I'll just make some bias binding maybe out of this one, or the other purple fabric that I have with the little polka dot. I can also make it out of that one. Or perhaps, yeah, I don't know if I have any plain fabric of these colors here. Oh, I do have an orange polka dot that I can do this one here. That would be cool. Well, I'll decide what I'm going to do with this. So now let's start with the cutting. I have pocket, side panel, the skirt front and back, and the top. This is the back with the little rounded, and this is the front cut on fold. This is cut on fold. These two are cut on fold. This is on fold, this is on fold. This is the only one that's not on fold. Now I have to decide which fabric I'm going to use for the bias binding. I have decided to make some bias tape out of the dark purple so I can have some for whatever it is that I'm doing. It's a plain color, so I'll make some bias tape out of this one. Going to try to make continuous bias tape, so I'm going to use the technique that I found online. Cut a square, cut diagonally, and then kind of put them together so you see how I go about that. I have this here. This is a 12.5 by 12.5 square ruler. My daughter purchased this a while back. I don't use it much, but I will use it for this. So I'm just going to raise here a little bit. I want to cut all around it. So I have a 12.5 square. Okay. I have one square. Let's remove this here. And let's remove this guy right here. Now I am going to cut from corner to corner. And now I'm going to take this here and sew against this one here. So when we open it, I will have a parallelogram. Is that, I think that's what it's called. Something like this. Yes. I will go to the machine now, sew this, leaving a 1/4 of an inch right here and a 1/4 of an inch right there. Now I'm going to sew this at a 1/4 of an inch. I changed my presser foot to be the quarter inch presser foot, and I'll be going with that. So let's start. Now I am going to press this seam open. I'm going to open this up. If I can put my finger in here. Open this up, press it, and I'll meet you at the table. I want to make 1 1/4 inch bias tape. So that's what I'm going to mark. I am going to use a regular pen because if I use the friction pen, I need, when it's time for me to iron, when I sew these two edges together, I'm gonna lose the marking. So I won't be doing that. So I'll mark here. Let's just put that there. So I'll do a inch and a 1/4. I hope you can see it. With the black pen. Actually, I hope I can see it with the black pen. Let's see. Can I see it? Yes, I can see it. So let's keep going with the 1 1/4 inch all the way to the top. Let's measure to see how much this last little piece is. Oh, it's just 1 inch. So I guess I'll cut that off because I don't need a 1 inch. Oh boy, it is what it is. So let's just cut that. So let me turn it so you can see the lines. Here, these lines, you see that? This is not how we are going to sew. We need to move it this way. It's going to be a little bit difficult because this is small. But you see here? This is how it's going to go. So I have a piece here and a piece there. Also with a 1/4 of an inch. And then after that, I have to iron this little piece open here. So I'm going to go to the machine now, make sure that I have a 1/4 of an inch. They need to intersect where the line is. So I'm going to pin here and then pin right there and put them together like that. Hope you can see it here. This looks a little bit weird because I had to shift everything one way. You see the point here? This one point is there, and then I just pinned the front and the back. And at this edge right here, I still have one point going that way. So now I'm going to sew this at 1/4 of an inch. Now we'll see if this matches. After I iron this, then I will show you how to cut this. I pressed it open. This is the one that I overset a little bit, and you can see here that the lines do match. Here, here. So I will start cutting on this side here and go around and around and around. So let's start. And this is all the bias tape that I got out of a 12.5 inch. And I'm going to measure and let you know how much I got. I got 2 3/4 yards of bias tape out of a square of 12.5 inches. I am going to follow Alyssa's instructions. These are the two fronts. That's where we start, the front and the back, not the two fronts, front and back. I'm going to take the front and the two backs and sew 3/8 of an inch on the shoulder seam right here. Let's stitch this. This is the first step. And after I sew the shoulder seams together, I'm going to finish this edge here. I'm going to finish it on my serger. I have already prepped my serger. I put white thread because I had other color in there from my last project. So I'm going to serge it here. But if you do not have a serger, you can do zigzag on your sewing machine or the overcast stitch. There's one stitch in there that mimics the serger right here. Let's sew the shoulder seams together at the 3/8 of an inch. I am back from the sewing machine. I did stitch the shoulders and I have serged and ironed it to the back. Now, next step is to add the bias tape to the arm portion right here, both sides, this side and that side. Doing the right sides, right side down, like this, and also on the other side. I am not going to cut this because I'm going to, as I go, let's see how much I will have left over out of this bit here that I made. So let's do that. This side, fold it, and then I'm going to then top stitch on this side here. This will get sewn with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going with my 1/4 inch here, and also on my presser foot there's a tiny little marking right here which is a 1/4 of an inch from my needle, so that's what I'm going for. Well, I am done sewing the bias tape to the inside here. Now, according to Alyssa's instruction, we need to fold 1/4 inch here and then fold again to cover the stitch that we just made, just like this. And I brought my pins. You guys know I am a pinner. On her video, she did iron this, but I don't want to iron it yet. I will do it after I sew. Then I'll iron it. So I'm going to pin both sides, and then we'll go to the machine. And now that I have added lots of pins on both arms, I'm going to go to the machine and stitch it down. This portion here is done, and this is turning out to be so cute. See, this is the front here, and the back, and the sides. Just adorable. Now, according to her instructions, I am going to take bias tape, start here, go around all the way to the bottom. I did sew the first go around on the wrong side as I did the arm here, but this time I decided to press everything instead of just pinning because I had a bunch of seams in my bias tape. I ended up with a seam right here in the little curve, a seam here, and on this side I have 2 seams right here close to each other. But now I am going back to the machine. First, what I need to do is, according to her instructions, is take these together like this and open this up and sew right here inside the bias tape all the way up where the curve starts. So I'm going to sew from here up to here where the curve starts, and then after that this is going to open up it's going to be attached together because I just sewed that, right? And then I can do my top stitching. I'll start on one side, go around all the way to the other side, right here. I'm stitching right on the fold. I can see the fold, and I think I need to stitch only up to here. Yeah, just up to here where it starts, right here. Looks good. Now I am going to start. Which side should I start? I'll start on this side here. This is just so cute. Look at that. Now, next portion in the instructions to put these two together and just secure them right here, just like this. So that's what I'm going to do after I cut and trim my little thread here. I don't like to see them. So I'll trim that and I'll secure the arms. Just like this. Secure the edges of the little sleeve. This top, it's getting cuter by the minute. This is the back. I did iron and I top stitched the whole thing. This now is together right here. Actually, one thing that I forgot to do that I will do, it was in her instructions, to top stitch right here back and forth so this does not open. So I'm going to do that now. I apologize for that. I forgot to do that on camera, but I'll do that in just a little bit. So this is the pocket. Actually, I need to iron this before I go. I don't iron on camera because I don't have one of those pads to put here. And I also saw somewhere that if you put it on top of your mat, it could warp your mat. And where my ironing board is, it's very dark. So there's no way to film there, especially at night. That's when I'm usually filming or sewing. So I will do bias binding up here and down here for both of them. And this is the side seam. This is one and this is the other. So let's start on this. I wonder if I have enough bias tape for top, twice, right? Top twice. Yeah, that's about that much. Oh yes, I do have plenty. And then for the bottom. Wow, good, I have enough. So what I'm going to do is same thing that I did with the other one. Wrong side, right side to wrong side, 1/4 inch, and then after that turn it to the right side, fold it, and do the same thing as I did to the other one. So let's do that now. Now that I have my little pockets with the top, that's ready. Let's take one of these side panels, open it up, take this one here, so wherever it lands here to the side, where it fits right here. Going to take my bias binding, face down. I am going to stitch 1/4 of an inch this way, and then after I stitch the 1/4 of an inch, I'm going to fold it in half and then fold it down and top stitch here, and then top stitch on the top. Make it nice and pretty. This is really pretty. Oh my goodness. But before I do that, I'm going to pin this in place to do it to one and to the other. Let's see how this top stitching came out. I think it's a bit wobbly in some places. A little bit here. Looks better here. Oh boy. What can I say? Wow, look at that. Now I'm going to do the same thing with pocket number 2. One thing that I cannot forget to do is add the Dress a Girl Around the World label. All right, side seam, side panel, actually not a side seam, side panel 1, side panel 2, both done. And I have, this will be the front where I have my label. I just attached my little label before I forget. And this is the back. Here I made a little notch up here so I would know that this is the top. I cut trying to match the bodice up top. So next thing to do is take one side panel and attach from side to side here, stitch 3/8 of an inch, top to bottom, all the way up here. And do the same thing to the other one. Other side here. This is my top right here. So I'll take, actually this side here, top to bottom, stitch, and then I will serge both seams here, and then I'll attach these two to this other one here. So I'll do that all right now. I'm not going to film that because this is pretty basic, just sewing the sides here and then serging. If you do not have a serger, you can do zigzags at the end, at the edges, to secure the edges. Also, you can do the overcast stitch on your sewing machine. You can do that. I have to cut all, I see these little things here. I have to cut all of this because this will drive me crazy. So I am going to the machine now and I'll be right back. I have sewn the sides and I've serged them. So you can see here, they're serged, both sides. This is the front where I have my little label. Let me turn it inside out for you to see. This is it. To cut this thread right here. And this is the front. And actually turned out really cute with the little label right here. Now let me grab the bodice and then let's attach those two together. So this is the bodice piece. Front needs to be here at the front. All right, inside out, this is the front. I am going to take the bodice like this because I want the front here with the front here. I'm going to put this on the inside. And I'm going to match all around the little corners here. I did snip in the middle. That will go right here. So I'm going to pin all of this all around, and I am going to sew. Then I'm going to sew at 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to serge it, and this is almost done. We're almost there. Almost there. I'm going to put 2 pins right here, one on each side of the opening, just to grab everything, make sure that I have everything in order and it matches perfectly all the way around. And here I have 2 little notches from the bodice and from the skirt. That is the middle. That's why it's good to notch them in the middle so you know where to go to pin. Pin and pin. Now let's get to the sewing machine. Okay, I have stitched the top. It's the bodice. It's in the inside. Now I want to turn it inside out. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Wow. Look at this. I know I cannot see the whole thing in camera. Wow, I have to iron this right here. I think I'm going to, after I iron it, I am going to top stitch it. I'm going to iron the seam going down because of this right here. I want this to be down, and then I'm going to top stitch all around. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I don't remember if she has that on the instructions or not, so I'll do that. And all that is missing is the hem. Turn it a quarter and a quarter, stitch, and this dress will be done. Look at how adorable this is. My goodness. So cute. Okay, let me go to the iron. And this dress is almost done. Wow. And here we have it. One dress done. I did the top stitching here at the waist. I'm gonna cut these threads. And I did check to see if I had threads going around. So I did top stitch all around, front and back, to secure that inside the seam to the bottom. I did the hem, top stitched, and this is just adorable. Well, as you saw on the sew along, this is the final dress here. Adorable. I think I said it too many times in the actual video. I love this fabric. This fabric is so much fun. I don't know if I said it or not. I purchased this from Joann's before they went out of business. It was on sale. It was on sale there, and I purchased everything that they had that day because I loved this fabric so much. It is great for a girl's dress. So much fun. Every different color. What can I say? What can I say? This is just adorable with the purple. And this fabric, you can match it with any other color. You can do green, you can do yellow, you can do orange, you can do red. Anything you want. Blue. It's just, you can just match it with a ton of colors. I decided to do the purple because that was the fabric that I had. I purchased this from, it was a Walmart 2-yard bundle, you know, the little bundles that you buy at Walmart. So I decided to do that, and I absolutely love this dress. A little girl is going to be very, very happy with this dress here. I do have several other little dresses cut to sew. I need, oh, my AC just stopped. It is so hot here. I do have several other dresses cut already to sew. I'm going to do like a little assembly line, just sew. Probably on the next video, I will show you more dresses because the month of September is Project Dress a Girl. It is the month that we sew most of the dresses. Now, there is a featured dress this month by So Very Easy. That is the handle on YouTube. I'll also link that one below. And the dress is for an older girl. I think it's a 10, 12-year-old dress. Pretty dress. The video is posted. Go there and check it out if you want to make that dress this year. Plus all of the other free patterns that we have available for us. Alyssa from Thoughtful Creativity, she is the mastermind of this pattern here. She had this one, it was 2024. She had another free pattern for 2023. And I believe she had another one in 2022, maybe another one in 2021. I don't know. She's made several free patterns. All you have to do is go to her YouTube videos, all of the Dress a Girl. I'm pretty sure you can just click on her Google Drive and you can download the patterns for free. In the month of September, there's a lot of events and a lot of videos being posted on YouTube. Yesterday, September 1st, there was the kickoff video by Mari Sews. On her video, I'm sure she'll link it to the calendar where you can go and search and see which day your favorite YouTuber or an event that you want to participate, the day that's going to be. So like I said, yesterday was Mari Sews kickoff video. Today you're watching my video here. You're watching my video. And also there is Practical Stitches. She's also posting a video today, September 2nd. Tomorrow there is a video by Mari again. Another video by In Agatha's Cottage and Suki Sews. Every single day there's something happening. There are a couple of days in the calendar which there's nothing happening, but I'm pretty sure that will fill up pretty quick. So check the calendar just to make sure that you can see what's going on, any events, any live events. I think Mari has unboxings of everything that we're sending her. At one point, she's gonna get a lot of boxes with a lot of dresses, and those unboxings are so much fun because we get to see what everybody is making, all the different sizes, the different fabrics, the different pockets. It is just so much fun, the month of September, and I know I will have a lot of fun making these dresses for the Project Dress a Girl 2025. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. This video is very long because of the sew along. And let me know in the comments below if you are participating in the hashtag Project Dress a Girl 2025. Let me know how many dresses you plan to make or the number you've made so far and how many you plan to sew up until the end of September. Remember, I think she has September, I think it is, I'm pretty sure it is September 30th is the last day to report to Mari the number of dresses so she can add it to the count. You can just mail it by that time. You can mail it earlier in the month, whatever you want to do. So if you liked this video, can you please hit that like button below and show me some love for the Project Dress a Girl 2025. Also, if you can subscribe, it will mean a lot to me. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. I will see you on the next one. Bye.